I'm Dr. Liz Matheis. I'm a clinical and school psychologist, and I specialize in working with children with special needs. So psychology is a field that came to be after my father, when I was younger, had insisted that I was going to be a lawyer. And so I went to college with the idea that I was going to be a lawyer, and I took lots of law classes and decided I totally didn't like this at all. And in the meantime, I took an intro to psych course that I just so loved and thought, I need to know more about this. So I had to go back to my father at the time and say, I'm not going to pursue law. I'm going to do psychology, which he didn't love. But I pursued it because it became such a fascinating field for me. I would pick up some licensure along the way, certifications and licensure along the way, because when I finished my bachelor's and my master's and my doctorate, I really couldn't do much in the field until I was all done and gained my licensure, which takes a long time. And so I would have picked up my school psychologist certification during my training as opposed to after. But I'm okay with it. It gave me a lot of experiences along the way, and I've met some really nice people, and every single step of the process has been part of who I am as a professional. I feel like being a woman probably helped me being in the schools. I think traditionally, we're going to stereotype for a second, in schools, they're very heavy on females. So being a school psychologist in the school was not something that was, so new. But being, I think, a woman in private practice can be a little bit challenging because I feel like people think of men being able to pursue their business and grow a practice, and they can just do that more naturally than women. So I feel like maybe in that respect, but overall, I feel like I found my niche. And, having that school psychology background and having been in the schools and understanding how it all works has really helped me. And I think at this point, it all comes together. It's not, I don't think I really am facing any obstacles as a woman now. I think I really had to establish myself in the practice, and then it kind of took off. I think women on a daily basis, if they could just know and hold in the back of their minds always that there's nothing that they can't do because of their gender. I mean, okay, sometimes there's certain things we can't do because of physical strength, but there are men who can't do things because of physical strength as well. If women just believe that they can accomplish their goals, I don't think we'd have as much of a gender difference. I think, and there's a large part that culture plays as well, the way women are socialized. I know the way I was raised is that I was supposed to grow up and get married and have babies, and that was the end of, my place in this world. And I did not want to do that. And I remember as a young girl going to Egypt many times, and I would have male cousins who would say to me, well, I told you not to wear that. And I would look at them like, what? You can't dictate what I wear. And it became these battles that I was having. And I think it really shaped who I was, especially at that time. I was very determined to be a very independent woman, to be able to support myself financially. My mom never worked and relied on my father. My father passed away when I was 20. And she really struggled. We all really struggled emotionally, financially. And I swore to myself that I would never be in a position like her, and that I was reliant on someone else. And, of course, emotionally, she was connected to him, so I understand the emotional part. But outside of that, she really struggled to exist. In the culture, she doesn't have an identity. Once you're a widow, you're a widow. And that's it. You're pretty much done, which was disturbing to me, for me to live through that and to see that. But every single part of that shaped me into wanting to be a strong woman who is independent financially, to be able to support myself if, God forbid, anything happened in my life, I could still stand on my own 2 feet and move forward the next day. So I feel like, yes, culturally, there are big factors and influences that women face, and it's really a personal choice to identify what you're capable of and what you want, and then to figure out how to get there. I'd like to see women in positions equal to men making the same salary. It still breaks my heart when I hear about women working so hard, working long hours, sacrificing time with their family, and yet their salary is not the same as a man for the sole reason that it's a male versus a female. That really upsets me. Having a home office is a curse and a blessing all at the same time, because the flow of work and home, it kind of goes into each other all day long. So does work really ever come to an end? No, because after the kids go to bed, I come down and I'll write my reports or I'll write my notes. So the end of the day doesn't really ever come, but I love spending time with my kids. I love being the one to drop them off in the morning. I love to pick them up in the afternoon. I want to be a part of their lives, and that was very important to me. I wanted my kids to know that I'm here. I know what's going on. I want to hear about their struggles. I want to hear about their successes. So as much as I am very frustrated with the home office because I can't close the door and leave at the end of the day, it's also great because it does give me this opportunity to be present and to accomplish these two major goals that I've set out for myself, as having a professional identity, but also being a mom, and being a mom to the best of my ability. So that work-life balance is really hard to find, but at the end of the day, I'm accomplishing my goals, so it's worth it. I would want to be a butterfly because I want to flutter around all over like I do, but with my feet. I'd like to do it with wings. And that way I can get places, no traffic. And if I was a strong butterfly, I could grab my kids and move them to where I wanted them to be. But I'd want to be a monarch butterfly because they're so pretty.